Let me tell you something. When I say that afternoon changed my world, I mean it in the way you only understand when you see your own kid strung up like some medieval warning dangling from the oak tree you planted together, wrists cut up by rope, and a neon violation notice flapping against her chest. And who's there, presiding over this freak show? Karen Whitmore, the self-declared queen of the HOA, sunglasses reflecting my rage right back at me, clipboard clutched like she's some damn royalty. Community justice, she's crowing, while my neighbors shuffle on the sidewalk, some filming. Most just staring, not sure if they should laugh or hide. But hang on, before we dive headfirst into this neighborhood circus, drop a comment with where you're watching from and what time it is right now. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this one. See, Maplerist wasn't the paradise the brochures promised. Sure, every hedge was sculpted, lawns mowed with military precision. And all the mailboxes matched, same shade of beige. No room for personality, not even a sticker for your football team. But underneath, this place was ruled by fear, all thanks to Karen. You think I'm exaggerating? Karen didn't just enforce rules, she made them up. Red ink, waved like gospel, and if you so much as blinked out of line, she'd slap you with a fine that multiplied faster than dandelions on a summer lawn. I'll admit, when my wife and I first moved in, I thought Karen was just one of those people who cared a little too much. Yeah, you know the type, bakes cookies but glares if your grass is half an inch too long. But after a few years, it became clear. Karen was addicted to control, to the power trip, to making people dance to her tune. For a while, I played it cool, let her nonsense roll off my back. But my daughter, she's not built that way. 18, straight fire, no filter, allergic to hypocrisy. She doesn't back down when she sees something's wrong. It started, believe it or not, with a mailbox. Non-compliant, Karen announced, tapping our mailbox like she was the mail police. Too glossy, violates the matte finish rule. My daughter comes out onto the porch, arms crossed. You scared someone's gonna go blind, Karen? Is this Vegas now? Half the cul-de-sac heard her, and that was it. Karen's ego took a direct hit. And suddenly, my daughter was the enemy. Petty skirmishes became the norm. Violation slips for her bike against the garage, for chalk drawings on the sidewalk. Flowers, doodles, just color in a gray world, but to Karen? Graffiti. My daughter, instead of backing down, doubled down. Next thing you know, there are caricatures of Karen chalked onto the sidewalk. Evil sunglasses, monster clipboard. The works. Neighbors started laughing, giving my kid little nods and thumbs up. Karen hated that even more. She didn't want compliance. She wanted worship. And nothing burns a bully more than being the punchline. Karen's next move? Official warnings about graffiti and community service for future offenses. My daughter tore up the notice and laughed. And yeah, maybe I should have realized. Then that Karen was escalating, not giving up. There's a certain kind of person who can't stand being laughed at, especially by someone half their age. And the neighbors, well, they split into camps. Half were quietly delighted, watching Karen get taken down a peg. The others looked scared to even walk their dogs near our house, afraid the Queen's wrath would come for them too. I tried telling my daughter to let it go, to stop poking the bear, but she'd just grin and say, "You can't fight bullies by staying quiet." And honestly, how do you argue with that? The final straw? Sidewalk art. My daughter and a bunch of neighborhood kids spent a Saturday drawing wildflowers and a giant dragon across the concrete. Neighbors stopped, smiled, snapped photos. Then here comes Karen, flanked by her security volunteers, middle-aged guys with matching shirts and clipboards, looking like bouncers for a middle school dance. Karen loses it, calls my daughter a vandal, threatens a public apology, threatens the board, the whole works. But my daughter grabs the moment, loud enough for everyone to hear. Apparently, drawing sunflowers in chalk is now a federal offense. The crowd roared. Phones came out. Karen lost her mind. That should have been the end. A neighborhood squabble destined to be forgotten with the next rainstorm. But this is Karen we're talking about. The very next day, bright orange notice. Mandatory compliance hearing for disrespecting HOA authority. I wanted to laugh, but my daughter took it as a challenge. She's scared, Dad. She's lashing out. We can't let her win. Fast forward to the day the wheels finally came off. My daughter's outside, sketching again with the local kids, and here comes Karen, security goons in tow. It's not about chalk anymore. Karen's ranting about respect, authority, threatening to make an example of my family. The neighborhood's dead silent, watching like it's the Super Bowl. My daughter, calm as you please, says, "Go ahead, try me." And something in Karen snaps. You could see it in her eyes. This wasn't about a rule violation. This was personal. And then, this is the part that'll stick with me forever. I pull into the driveway and see my daughter tied to the oak tree, arms up, face set like stone. Karen, clipboard under her arm, looks like she just won a war. Her volunteers block me when I move to cut my daughter down. Touch her, and you'll be fined, or expelled from the HOA, Karen snaps. I swear, you'd think she was running a medieval fiefdom, not a subdivision. But my daughter's not crying, not begging. She's glaring at Karen with so much fire it almost scares me. She calls out, "Don't give her what she wants, Dad." Karen smirks. Listen to your child. She knows her place now. And the whole time, neighbors are filming, gossiping, torn between horror and a sick kind of curiosity. Then, this is where it gets wild. There's a sound, low and steady, growing louder. Helicopters. Not just any choppers, Black Hawks. Karen mistakes it for backup. See, she hangs there till I say so. But those birds weren't here for Karen's HOA. Nonsense. They were here for my daughter. The moment she'd been tied up, her emergency beacon, a little device hidden in her jacket, had called in the cavalry. The street erupts. People screaming, ducking, phones flying. Black Hawks descend, soldiers rappel out, and in the chaos, one cuts my daughter down, lifts her up like she's the president's kid. Karen's trying to shout over the noise, but no one can hear her over the rotor wash. Soldiers form a perimeter, neighbors cheer, and the look on Karen's face as authority she can't bully storms her little kingdom. That's something I wish I could frame. And then, the truth comes out. My daughter's not just a mouthy teen with a knack for art. She's a cadet in a federal military program. Her safety a matter of national security. The soldiers tell Karen, straight to her face, that she's under investigation for unlawful restraint, assault, you name it. The board members who'd rubber-stamped her reign suddenly disappear, melting into their houses. Karen's empire crumbles in real time. The crowd, so long held in check by her petty threats, starts to laugh, starts to shout back. You don't run this place anymore. It spreads like wildfire, every grudge and petty fine coming loose in a torrent of laughter. Karen shrieks about bylaws, but the soldiers march her off, not even using her name, just subject. The neighborhood is roaring, people hugging, crying, some openly cheering. When Karen's finally loaded into the vehicle, she's not the queen anymore, just another bully exposed and powerless. After the dust settles, literally, after the choppers lift off and the flower beds are mulch, no one's complaining. The board dissolves. Neighbors show up for a real community meeting. People who used to hide now volunteer for a council that actually serves, not punishes. My daughter? She becomes a legend. Video of her rescue goes viral. Strangers send messages. She's tougher than my whole HOA combined. And Karen? She faces actual charges, real consequences. The judge laughs when her lawyer tries to call it symbolic discipline. May Plurist isn't perfect, but it's free. And when I sit on my porch now, coffee in hand, I finally feel peace. I look at that oak tree, not as a reminder of humiliation, but of resilience. My daughter stood tall, and the tyrant fell because respect can't be forced and fear doesn't last. So here's my question. Who's the Karen in your life? When do you stop letting them run the show? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you're still with me, hit subscribe, because in this neighborhood, you never know what's coming next.